everybody, welcome back to the Double Cleanse podcast, a podcast all about the beauty and beauty influencer space. My name is James Welsh. I am a skincare enthusiast and beauty content creator of 10 years. Skincare content creator of 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm Robert Welsh, professional makeup artist and also content creator of not as long as 10 years.
Oh, nearly though.
10 years? Yeah, is that right?
I feel like nearly, yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, guys, it's been crazy.
It's been crazy.
So you know in the last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, we talked about that creator who accidentally thought she got invited to go and try on a cardigan. This is really random. Have you ever reached out to a brand and asked for free stuff?
I wouldn't have the nerve, the gut.
I still get really embarrassed to do it.
Yeah.
Because
even when they say, if you ever want anything, please let us know. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
I think I've done it once.
Do it.
Who did I do it to? Yapoda, because they sent us the spicules essence, and I used it all up, and I was meant to have a sponsorship with them. I was like, guys, I'm gonna need another one because I've used it all up
to actually show it.
But I was watching like a day in the life of an influencer the other day, and they were saying like, Mondays when I do all my emails, all my product requests, and I was like, I wonder what they mean by product requests. And I was kind of like looking through the comments, and people were like asking what product requests were, and they're like, oh well, as an influencer, I reach out to brands and ask for a product. I was like, is this what people do? So then I went down a bit of a rabbit hole watching other influencers' day in their lives, more short form on TikTok, and it's something everyone does.
Oh, I couldn't do it. Maybe it's because we're English.
Yeah, maybe it's like we best not.
We best not. We best leave them alone. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get why you would want to. Perhaps if you're a smaller content creator, you're introducing yourself to the brand.
Yeah, and this is an interesting thing actually as well. I was watching, I believe it was Jackie Aina, and somebody said she's really ungrateful for all the PR she gets.
I saw this.
And it was quite actually controversial because I get where she's coming from.
I do too.
People have to remember that gifting is marketing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a deal. It's not a gift.
It's not a Christmas present.
No, it's not a gift
it feels
anymore.
like it a lot.
Yeah. And like, actually, it was funny because there was 2 things I saw in like a couple swipes. It's Jackie Aina rightfully saying like, I don't have to be grateful for things I didn't ask for.
I don't think people realize that stuff does just show up.
Yeah.
It just shows. And sometimes you'll get an email and it's like, your package from this brand is on its way. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't want any more eyeshadow palettes.
I got something from Urban Decay the other day, a mascara. I'm like, why am I on their PR list? And then in the other swipe, there was an influencer crying because she didn't get the new Rhode lip balm. And I was like, this is so... She had all these brands in front of her, and her partner walks in and was like, but there's so many good other brands. And she was like, no, I know. I just really thought I would be getting sent that.
You shouldn't assume. I think you're in a very privileged position to be sent stuff for free when you could actually, for a lot of people, and not for everyone, afford a lot of what you want to buy anyway.
This is like a lot of feedback was like, just buy it.
Just buy it.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, and don't get me wrong, just because you have like a huge following doesn't mean you're really, really... Oh, that's not true. Your following doesn't always equal money, if that makes sense. Yeah. So just because somebody has like this many things and they're getting loads of PR, doesn't mean they can go out and buy everything.
Yeah.
But like, I still think you should be like, oh, I'm lucky I've received anything in the first place. Because what if one day every brand just stops sending you everything?
But so this is really funny because we like sometimes I'll get a product like that Urban Decay and I'm like this is such a waste. Like now I'm just gonna give it away. Like it's a waste of packaging, it's a waste of everything.
Yeah.
But then there are days where like nothing arrives on a Monday and I'm like, no one sent me anything.
Career over.
Like no PR today. That's crazy. But then you think I get PR every single day. That day without PR is like weird.
Yeah, like a weird. Oh, well, my door's quiet today.
Yeah, the dogs haven't barked a lot
but
today.
Then also as well, I don't think brands do enough into seeing who wants that PR. Like I like it when they're like, even if I'm on their PR list all the time, I do like it when they say, do you want this? Because sometimes I don't want that product.
I think I feel like we've talked about this before. UK brands are quite good at
sending a Google sheet that you fill out.
I'm not filling out, guys. I never want something so much that I'm going to fill out a form. There's been a couple of products that I've been like, you know what, actually I will.
Yeah,
if I really wanted it. But other than that, I'm not. If I'm on your PR list, just send it to me. Like, like, do you want
Tell
this?
me
I'll
before.
be like,
yeah. Reach out and be like, we're sending you this. Do you actually want it? And I'll be like, yes.
Which I feel like a lot of UK brands
they do. They're quite good at that.
But when it's like new launch, fill out this form. It's like, no.
Sometimes I get really confused because there's this new way of asking if people want PR where they send out like an article about the product. It's like, we'll be happy to send samples your way. And I'm like, are they sending me the product or
a lab
a
sample.
sample
Yeah.
of like sample pot of a product
in an old film.
yeah Canon film
film,
case
yeah.
yeah no I get what Jackie Aina was saying when she was like, I don't have to be grateful for stuff I didn't want to receive. I 100%
Yeah, because
get
it's
that.
not, especially somebody on her level, it's not
Yeah.
a gift. It's a, oh my God, I hope she talks
There
about
have been
this.
someone with millions of followers and a lot of people watch her content over a spectrum of loads of different categories, not just beauty.
Yeah.
She does everything else: fashion, home stuff, business stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going to see that product.
This is why I find those giant PR boxings a bit weird, because there's PR that I get that I'm like, no one wants to see that. And that's not interesting. Or like, I don't really want to give that brand the light of day.
And
So I
talking
find
about-
it weird when they're just opening one after the
Yeah.
other and showing every single brand. Like,
And
surely
talking
that's a
about,
tick. for
like
some
brands
people.
not paying enough attention. You get sent makeup sometimes, and it's like
If you, we've definitely talked about this
And
before.
I-
because
yeah,
if you
I don't
send-
want it.
Yeah,
I don't
if
want
you,
it.
If you send Robert's PR to my house, it's not.
I'm not getting it,
Yeah.
and I also do not want it in turn.
So our controversial
Get our names
opinion-
right.
Get our names right. Our controversial opinion is that we're not grateful for all PR.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have to be.
Absolutely.
Because they're using us.
But you know what? We're just getting donated. Mum, the industry.
We're very lucky that there are like a lot of charities now that do take, it's
Yeah.
because it's a whole new breed of
Yeah.
category, right?
Yeah.
Like we take influencer, unwanted influence PR
exactly,
and give it
uh-huh.
away, or loads of people do giveaways. So
Yeah.
yeah, luckily for us, there are like literally bags of stuff going to
Yeah.
raffles and stuff. But, yeah.
We have crates.
Yeah, but today we are going to be talking about listeners' controversial
Controversial.
controversial. Do you know what's controversial?
Yes.
When people say tissue, issue,
I can't stand it.
controversial.
I can't stand it.
Can't stand it.
What do you
I'm
mean
afraid.
tissue?
Tissue.
What do you mean controversial?
But we are we are going to be discussing people's controversial beauty opinions today. But
Yeah.
before we get into that, fact. I have a fact or fiction for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
This is something we do where we talk about something stupid or controversial even that an influencer has done, because a lot of them do stupid things.
2026.
So there is a very popular kind of like public figure.
Pretty as in they're pretty, or
No,
they're
they're pretty popular. Actually, they're a bit of an icon. They've been around for a very long time in
Okay.
the industry. And everyone's always been like, this Japanese creator. So I was scrolling TikTok and I saw a creator who was Asian, doesn't say on their profile where they're from. And they said, this creator has been Asian fishing and nobody's realized for the last decade or so, however long, so many years, and no one's even noticed. They said they're actually not Japanese, they're Dutch. And up until this point, people are only just starting to figure out who this person is. Now, this is somebody that you will know.
I will know.
Yeah, the audience at home will know, but they have gone their whole career
Influencer.
not saying they're Japanese, yeah, but
'cause it's
people
the
have
thing
just
about influencers.
presumed they're Japanese, and they've been getting away with it for the longest time, and now everything's just
I can't
coming
think of any
out.
Japanese content creators.
You'll know this person. Not content creators, public figure, I would say more so. But they're very prevalent online. And they're only just starting to be kind of like called out for it, or kind of people are just realizing because of this one viral TikTok. So what do you think? Fact or fiction?
I think fact.
Okay, so it's half fact, half fiction.
Okay, that's cheating.
Yeah, so this public figure's real name This public figure's real name is Ninechi, and their name that they've been going by is Miffy. So
The rabbit.
the rabbit character. Tell me you didn't think Miffy was Japanese.
No, I thought she was Dutch.
But is that only because we went to Amsterdam and saw Miffy everywhere?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So I, for the longest time, thought she was Japanese until we went on that brand trip. I thought she was Japanese for the longest time. And so did so many other people. And
Is it
this
the
Asian
Roman
creator-
collection that's gone viral? Or because Roman is just some
No.
collection
So
of
it's
her?
a creator called... Let me get her.
So we're talking about a character that's been Asian fishing.
Asian fishing. Soph JADV. She said the biggest Asian fisher no one talks about, and it's Miffy. And she's doing like a Miffy haul. But I found that so interesting because
guess,
I thought I
yeah.
was the only person that thought that. I
And
actually thought Miffy was a Sanrio character for the longest time.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Just because she's cute and
Because
she's
she's
rabbit.
cute, and Rabbit has like the characteristics of a
Yeah,
Sanrio character.
Yeah, no, I guess that could be.
So you know what, Miffy? Fuck you.
Fuck you, Miffy. Cancelled.
Cancelled.
Well, that was a mind bend.
Yeah, it was a mind bend.
It's like when your mind bends.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you asked me what is a mind bend.
No. I said what a
listen,
mind
controversial. Very controversial.
So before we get into today's topic, oh God, and if you're not too mind bent, do you have a favorite product for us today?
I do. Have you heard of a brand REHAB?
Yeah, but I don't know why.
Oh, I love them. Everything they Everything they make is perfect.
Okay.
And I'm not just everything they do is perfect.
Okay.
This is from a brand REHAB. They do a lot of like body stuff, moisturizers, and they do these capsules with serums in.
That's what I know
stuff.
them from.
So good. Their hair mists. Do you like it? Oh my God. Their hair mists are
Yeah.
just so unique. The smells are so beautiful. They're like musky, but grown up. Very, very feminine, but like not too...
Floral.
which you
Yeah.
usually, associate with feminine fragrances. So beautiful. Their under eye patches. These are their hydrating under eye patches, of course. They're the ones that first will actually stick to your face. You know, the
Okay.
ones that have a grip and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
stick.
yeah.
Something about them. There's some eye patches I use where it's like, that's a great, you can open them if you want. I'll use
Oh,
them
no, I
later.
won't do that.
They look, my under eyes look hydrated. They look fine, but these ones feel like they actually give me a visual result.
Yeah.
A little bit brighter. My under eyes feel bouncier in terms of texture. So putting on makeup is so much nicer. Concealer on top of them. What have they just done recently? A face serum in capsules. It's they're
nice.
so good. First of all, I thought it was very hair focused, but they do really, really great skin stuff. If you don't like overly fragranced stuff, it's not overly fragrance, but it's not subtle either.
Right.
But these under eye patches, I carry these everywhere. They sent them to me in PR ages ago, and immediately after I used one pair, I bought another 4 boxes because I was like, I don't want to run out of these. I think I took these to Korea.
It looks like they've got a lot of like hydrating, soothing kind of ingredients in, but
Yeah.
then a lot of ingredients you see in an eye cream as well. Are they serum-y?
No, it's sticky.
Sticky. So there's a lot of like things like caffeine in there.
It feels gel-like. I don't know if you can feel it. It's like gel.
Yeah, I had a little
almost.
squidge,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're really, really, really beautiful. This whole brand REHAB, if you haven't checked it out, for the skin, for the hair, I love it. Love
Okay.
it. And they've just come out with a new serum and a new cream, and they're like a gua sha with a roller on the other end.
They sent silver.
Big teardrop.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I knew they
Yes.
were.
Yeah,
They had
and
these
there's
little
some,
oil
there's some gel
capsules.
masks now. I want to try some masks in it as well.
Oh, and masks. Yeah.
If these are so good. If you haven't tried the under eye patches,
Yeah.
lovely.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Of course.
Should we get into our controversial opinions?
Yeah, let's talk about controversies.
Okay, so these are listener submitted.
Yes.
Okay, here's a controversial one that isn't quite controversial, but I feel like people may misunderstand. Daily SPF is not necessary in Northern Europe in winter. And I would say in Europe. So I just want to say something. I think last year especially, there was a lot of... last year and the year before, a lot of people being like, wear your sunscreen or fucking die. A lot of dermatologists like, if you're not wearing sunscreen, you're doing it
dead.
wrong.
You're dead.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
But
And,
then there's also a lot of people on the other hand saying like, sun your bum hole and you're fine.
but then they were the same people that were like start sun gazing, where they literally look into the sun.
Why would you do that? For what's the benefit
I don't
of
know.
that?
They want to burn their
Very controversial.
retina. It's very controversial. But yeah, so it's important to wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Of course.
And I feel like there's 2 reasons why you want to wear sunscreen. To protect yourself so you don't burn, obviously. But in the winter, you may want to continue wearing a sunscreen because whilst UVB rays, to put it very simply, UVB rays are going to burn, but you still have those UVA rays, which is the aging rays. Very simply, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So technically, with a UV index of 2 and below, I have an app, right? Yeah. UV index, you just click on this little circle and it tells you what the UV index is going to be for the day.
2.0 in
2.0. For today, you might want to wear sunscreen. If it's below 2, you can skip it if you want to get your vitamin D. Maybe your skin's had a reaction to something. So usually when my rosacea is flaring up or I've had a reaction, I will skip sunscreen and stay inside or whatever. I would try and avoid, especially chemical filters. But yeah, if the UV index is under 2 and you don't care about the aging side of wearing sunscreen, you can skip it altogether.
And what if you've done something like exfoliated your skin the night before with like a treatment, or like
I still
if you've
would.
done something like
I
that?
would,
Yeah,
you should still wear
I think
sunscreen.
I was talking about a sunscreen in one of my Instagram reels, and someone's like, "But isn't it like cloudy and dark in the UK?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I also do treatments the night before where I kind of want to like protect my skin almost the day
Well, then
after."
it also depends how long you're going to be outside for. Like, I wouldn't put sunscreen on to go for a dog walk in the woods, for example.
I do. I just do it all the time, just because I feel like I'm doing the
I mean,
most.
sunscreens are moisturizers nowadays.
Yeah.
There's no reason not
exactly.
to.
Yeah.
But there might be reasons you don't want to use chemical filters for your skin at that time. However, that being said, if you are in a snowy place, for example, or if you're like paddleboarding and it's winter, there are different situations going on there. You have the reflection of the snow, the water. So again, you still might want to put sunscreen on.
Yeah.
It's best to err on the side of caution with things like that if you're unsure. But if you're just lounging around the house, if you're going to and from work or going to the shops, you don't need to wear sunscreen unless you're really worried about the premature aging side of things.
Which I am.
Well, I just get Botox. So I'm not massively bothered about it.
Yeah, I always say though, when I'm like 80, I'm going to be one of those people with a really shiny face where it's been stretched so much.
You know that man with like the drawn on beard and the big lips who does that? I want to look like him when I'm 90.
Yeah, I'm going to wear all white.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a total turnaround.
Yeah.
I'm wear all white. And a really shiny
orange
face.
tan.
Orange hair.
Yeah, you're going to live in Malibu.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
Malibu
going
a
to talk like
place?
British.
Yeah. God, dreams. No, when I'm 60, I'm going to China for a facelift. Have you seen the Chinese facelifts?
Yeah, but some of them have filters on. You need to be really careful because some of it afters are really heavy filtered.
Yeah.
What was I about to say?
Facelifts, China, man with
that's
lips.
it.
Okay.
So that's about sunscreen. Some doctor's gonna duet this and be like, "You don't have to," and they're gonna be like
Don't
a
have
doctor
to-
in paper.
Oh, it's all the plastic surgeons.
yeah,
They know about
that
sunscreen.
guy. He shakes them. It's like that sounds like chemicals.
There are some trigger words you need to listen out for when it comes to listening to professionals talking about things in general,
Toxic.
but sunscreen in general. Oh yeah, toxic, but things doctors don't want you to know, things other doctors won't tell you.
It's like, why is the doctor not telling us? Stuff?
Yeah. When somebody refers to sunscreen as sunblock or thinks mineral sunscreens as sunblocks, that word has been banned for years.
Really?
Yeah, because
I didn't know
that gives the impression that mineral sunscreens...
It's going to block the sun.
Yeah, but both pretty much mineral and chemical sunscreens work the same. Sunblock doesn't create a shield over your skin, which I used to believe. So when
I did.
people
I just thought it reflects, doesn't it? Or does it?
Not even that. It does. It absorbs. Yeah. So when you hear people saying that, it's like leave it. Ignore them.
Right.
Ignore them.
Ignore everyone forever.
Next controversial opinion.
Next one, indie brands, as in independent brands, get away with bullshit behavior too easy because they are small brands.
So
I agree.
I agree to an
now, I'm not
extent.
saying that hold smaller brands to the same standards as big brands in some aspects, but at the end of the day, customer service is customer service.
But you know what? They also don't, like, you carry on with your point. Then
Agreements are agreements. You can't just change things halfway through posting, for example, posting a product out. You can't just change the charge of something after you've already paid. Like there's things you still need to stick by. Just because you're a smaller brand, it doesn't mean everyone is trying to help you out. You know what I mean?
You don't have to support a brand just because they're small.
Exactly. If they don't go with your ethics, if they don't do it, it's nice to support smaller brands if you genuinely like their product.
Yeah, and you think they're worth the time.
Yeah,
the
but
energy,
I'm
and
not
the-
going to be a small brand. Let's say I'm selling glasses. I'm like, James, would you like this glass? Say yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to send it out to you. Pay me £10.
Okay.
Thank you. Email 2 days later. Actually, it's another £10.
No, who's doing this?
But I'm a small business, so you need to give me that money now.
You can't leave me a negative review.
You can't leave me
because you're
next to it.
running a small
Like that
business.
kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy to support you initially, but if
Yeah.
you're taking the piss,
Yeah.
then you're still customer service and you're still a brand that still needs to, you know.
Do you know what small indie brands don't get called out on enough? Is AI packaging.
Yes, can you
AI
fucking
illustrations
stop?
of
It looks
packaging.
cheap. It
looks
cheapens
cheap
the brand
and
completely.
shit.
Yeah.
But also, the feedback I see from that is like, oh, well, they're an up-and-coming indie brand. Maybe they couldn't afford to get an artist. Then don't.
Sorry,
Plain
go on
packaging,
Photoshop
get
and put your
on it.
logo on it.
Yeah.
Get your logo on it in a different color.
Yeah.
Like how classy or how minimal would a palette, imagine an eyeshadow
Yeah.
palette, just white packaging, strip of a color,
Yeah.
maybe it's a neon green, your logo. Your next one, a strip of neon pink. So when you stack it, it looks like all these different colors.
Ooh, no one copy that. No one copy
Copyright
that.
2020.
2026.
Like it doesn't have to. If you have to do something as crazy as that, that looks cheap and it looks shit, and everyone knows. You're also alienating a whole group of people that don't like AI. Whether you agree with it or not, you're a business. You need to look into this and be like, what's the public's view on AI? But also as well, You're a creative person. You're making a brand. Figure it out where you don't have to do that.
Like, I don't think anyone should work for free nowadays, but surely there's an
No.
artist out there who would love the opportunity to have some work put in front of like an audience
Yeah,
like
maybe
that,
I'll
or
do it
some
for a
recognition or a bit of a discount.
Yeah.
But also, that's the thing. Have it in your budget. Like, I don't know how budgets work. I don't do business.
Well, if you think about it, you have to pay a factory to make a certain amount of product, and they're going to have a minimum order, right? So figure that out, your minimum order. How much is it going to take to pay an artist to make, it could be an up and coming artist. It doesn't have to be like somebody who, and we believe artists should be paid for their work 100%. So pay an artist to do their work.
Yeah.
You pay, or just whack your logo on it.
AI art is going to piss people off.
It pisses people off.
One,
there's one brand
looks
that did
shit.
it. It
Two,
looks shit.
it's always yellow. Three, looks shit.
It has that weird shadow around it.
Four, weird shadow around it.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's like we don't have to support things we don't like just because you're a small business. Yeah. And if you're like, oh, but we can't afford to do this. Yeah, we know you
There's other
can't.
things when people like support small businesses, but what if it's shit?
What if it's shit? Support a small business. It's a peg with googly eyes.
Yeah,
why aren't you supporting
a rock with googly eyes?
I'll buy that.
Pet rock.
I'll buy that in a second.
Yeah, give me a £5 pet rock.
Don't take that as an example.
Yeah, no,
But-
trademark.
Yeah.
I just like I didn't ask you to start a business.
Yeah, so I'm not then going to
Support your business.
But also, like, don't fuck up and then be like, but I'm a small business.
Yeah.
Because actually, and sometimes not all indie brands are small businesses.
Yeah.
But like we said before. So step it up or down
yeah.
and just,
I also feel like people are more than happy to pay a bit more of a premium though for
I am
these
for
indie brands
because a lot of indie brands are better than
the
high-end
quality's
brands.
always better.
Are you
I would
kidding?
much rather pick an indie brand over a L'Oreal brand,
Yes,
for example.
right.
Because you know, getting quality, everything's thought out usually from the packaging, the design. There's a whole storytelling thing that those big brands just don't have anymore.
Yeah.
But you've got to have the customer service and the common sense to go with it.
Yeah, having worked with an indie brand as well, I did that collection with Blend Bunny. The connection from the owner to the person creating the product to this trying the products is so small. It's nice to buy from an indie brand like that where there's some thought going into it. It's not just let's get a product out and get the money from
Yeah.
it. There's, like you said, a story behind it. There's a reason for the layout. There's a reason for the artwork, and they actually pay artists. Yeah.
Bear in mind, indie brand is a bit of a marketing term as well. Peter Thomas Roth, who's just been exposed to
That's
the
it. See,
Epstein
indie
files,
brand and what, he's a
they are still
millionaire?
considered the largest indie brand in the world.
Just because it's not owned by
Yeah. Here's a petty one, but I agree with this person. They don't like it when people don't hold their hair back when applying makeup and skincare. Do you remember there was this stage? And I believe it started with Kylie Jenner when she launched her skincare routine, where no one did anything to their forehead.
What
So
do you
she'd be
mean?
using her products,
But not on her
cleansing,
forehead.
exfoliating, and just completely avoid the forehead.
Yeah, some people don't put makeup on
and
their
that's because
forehead.
they
That's
had their hair. She
fine.
had her hair done,
Ah, okay.
and eyebrows done probably as well, and they didn't want to
see.
ruin that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see this all the time. That's why I use those little Velcros
To keep your hair back.
because there's some common sense behind it. Like if you've got hair product in, you could get that on your forehead.
dripping on
It's
your
probably not
face.
the worst during the
Yeah.
cleansing stage, but you just don't want all that dripping around.
If you've
and-
cleaned your face, keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh. Don't let everything drip over your face. But also, yeah, it's just annoying. Like seeing even when I get one hair on my
it
forehead,
annoys
I'm like,
me,
I'm gonna have to
it
start
annoys me.
filming again. I'm gonna film again.
Yeah.
Because it is really, really annoying. But when they do their so this is something that confuses me when it comes to makeup. Is whenever I see like celebrities getting their hair and makeup done, they always seem to change the order of hair first, makeup first.
Yeah, it depends on timings as well. So
Oh.
you kind of want the makeup to be fresh, or you want the hair to be fresh, depending on what you're doing. What they're wearing, you need to consider. Are they stepping into it? Is it going over the head?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, I remember doing people's makeup at the same time as the hair.
That's what I was. Yeah,
it's a bit of a battle.
Yeah, but what if you're at home?
Yeah.
and you want to give yourself a bouncy blow dry?
See, I would prefer doing the makeup first. No, sorry, the hair first.
But what if you
And
have a
then
bit of a
it's like
flaunt?
pin it back a little bit with like a soft clip, ones that doesn't bend the hair,
Yeah.
and then do the makeup. Because I feel like if you do your makeup and then you're blow drying the hair, maybe your hair might get caught in an eyelash, or you know what I mean, and you just want to
lip
perfect the edges
gloss.
of the hair a little bit more.
Yeah.
So as a makeup artist, I would very much try and not keep out the hairstylist way, but when
Yeah.
I'm doing makeup, I can kind of go in at all angles. Whereas I think a stylist needs to do certain things at certain points.
Right,
A hairstylist.
yeah.
I don't know if that's fact or not. That's just how I would work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know what I also really dislike is when people do skincare with rings on?
I don't mind it.
And they're
skincare, I don't mind.
rinsing.
Makeup, I don't care.
Oh,
'cause using
makeup's
brushes,
fine, yeah. But
yeah.
when they're like in the sink and they've got a ring on and they're rubbing it all
Some
over their
people
face.
some people keep their wedding ring on. I'm like, don't you want to take it out and just give it a little wipe around
I'm
the
sure
edge?
you're not going to get instant divorce if you
Yeah.
just put it on the side real quick.
What if they lose
It's
it?
just, well, then they shouldn't have got married. It's just annoying.
Get
'cause
married
I'm like,
again.
what if you catch your skin? What if you catch your nostril, your
Yeah.
eyelid? What if like I don't know, that's been out in the day. You put your hand on like a rail or
Well,
something.
there's a bit of grit underneath.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of schmoo underneath.
Well, you've been on a farm.
You might have been on a farm in your designer jacket and wellies, getting bird pooed on, Robert. It just bothers me because then I'm like, oh, then are you all wet under? Does it? What if your finger smells under your
even when
ring?
I'm out and I'm wearing rings and I wash my hands, like a few times I've forgot I'm wearing rings and I wash my hands. Like, okay, now I have to take every single one of them off. I need to go in between all my fingers,
in between the
and dry,
crevices, dry them.
Yeah.
It gives me the ick, as the kids say.
Very controversial.
That's extremely controversial.
Okay, this is one. We don't need contour, which I agree. You don't need anything.
Oh, I mean,
You don't need to do anything.
Do people still contour like they
They
did?
do, but it's become such a normal thing to do in makeup, like a makeup routine, that it's just. But I think people prefer now. It goes in and out with trends. People prefer to sculpt a little bit more with, or
What's the
add definition with blush.
Blush.
So contour is mimicking shadow on the face to sculpt the face a little bit more, or mimic the bone structure. Whereas you put color here, like a blush, or here, it's going to change the dimensions of the face a little bit, or the way the cheek looks. You know what I mean? Like you put blush up here, you're lifting. You put blush here, you're plumping up the skin. So I feel like contour is useful if you want to do it, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Like no one's like used to.
I don't think
And you know
enough
what?
people are
Contour
still
should be
doing
so
it.
natural that when someone looks at your face, no one knows you've contoured.
Yeah.
It's meant to be the shadow of your bone structure.
It's not meant to be like a brown splotch. on your
Exactly, or like a
face.
grey like stripe down the side of a face. So yeah, you don't have to do anything. And I think this is the thing with makeup online and skincare online. If you're not doing this, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm
And
gonna
it's
find
like
you and kill you.
Yeah, I'm gonna find your house and I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like you really don't have to do that. And
Yeah.
actually, you don't have to fit everything on your face in one
Yeah.
bit. There was a point in time where not everyone knew what contour was. And like when I used to work for Mac, and the Mac Pro product was a contour palette. And it's like nobody knew what that was. And when you brought it over, they'll be like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And be like, "Contour."
Drag queen secret.
Yeah. And they'll be like, "What's the content?" I'll be like, "Well, let me show you.
let me show you.
Welcome in. Let me show you." And it will be like a whole new thing. But now it's
Yeah.
like drugstores do it. They do it wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of drugstores do it.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those things where it's just another type of product you don't have to
I
use.
do not think I've seen a contouring video or somebody contouring in a video for like a year. I just don't remember the last time I saw
People
it.
do it, but I think people confuse bronzing and contouring, whereas bronzing is adding warmth to your skin, which you can again, adding anything to the edges of your face can add structure, but contouring is the technique of mimicking shadow.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Whereas bronzing is going to bronze, as the name is. Blush is going to blush, and you can still add structure to the face with both of those things.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, here's one which I get a lot in the comments section of my videos. I see no difference between dewy and greasy. A shine is a shine. Here's what I want you to do.
I agree and disagree.
Here's
Go
what I
on.
want you to do. I want you to, no one's going to do this, but it's just an example. Do your skincare routine.
Yes.
Nice hydrating layers, moisturizer, let it all settle, look at your skin. Next day, go and wash your face, put some cooking oil on your face. Look at the difference between those two.
Yeah.
Greasy is a layer of oil on top of
Yes.
your skin, a layer of sebum,
Yes.
day fluids
Yes.
on top of your skin
Day
that can
fluids.
highlight texture,
Yeah.
shine in all the wrong places. Dewy, glowy, glass skin comes from an inner glow. And it's the hydration levels of your
Like
skin.
you could do this on the skin and nothing's going to come off.
You should be able to wipe the skin and nothing comes off. And if you're an oily person like we are, you see that difference. It's very, very different.
Yeah.
One is going to highlight everything wrong with your skin. The other one, and look great. So, because you can look dry and greasy at the same
yeah,
time. A lot of
dehydrated
dehydrated
and-
people
yeah.
still get oily
Me,
greasy
I'm
skin.
dehydrated, but
But that glass dewy skin should be a glow from within, but this is where people always get it wrong, and this is what brands have done with glass skin. Glass skin is not a product. Glass skin is not a finish. It's a combination.
It's not an instant you put on cream, your face is glass skin.
Glass skin toner, glass skin serum, glass skin moisturizer shouldn't exist. Glass skin is an umbrella term for a combination of different things you should be doing to your skin for
to
optimal
give it an
skin.
effect over time,
to give
right?
it an effect
To
over
give-
time. And all it is a consistent, well-formed skincare routine. And that's a skincare routine that targets texture, blemishes, even skin tone, hydration, moisture balance, like oil-water balance in the skin. A calm skin, like less redness. That's all it is. And the overall effect and finish of that over time is what is called glass skin. Glass skin is not wet skin. And that's why people are like, but that's just shiny skin, because what people are showing you is just fucking shiny skin.
Can I agree with them to an extent when it comes to makeup?
Yes.
I think it's very important where you mattify and where you don't. Because especially if you're wearing foundation throughout the day, there's some areas in your face where it's like, that's greasy. There's areas where in our mind, I think we subconsciously see as sweat and as grease.
Yes.
So around the nose here is grease.
Yeah.
Our forehead here is sweat.
Grease. Oh,
Chin,
okay.
grease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and here, sweat.
Yeah.
Like in our mind, we're like, okay, that looks sweaty, that looks greasy. So I do think there has to be a balance when it comes to makeup of what you're doing in terms of what looks shiny, what area of your face would give off a shine or a glow naturally, versus what is that product, how has that product changed in your skin that it now looks greasy. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing where it plays into makeup. If you do have what people consider glass skin, then it's not the finished makeup look. Do you mean you just have a great canvas for makeup? To the point where you probably wouldn't have to use so much makeup, so your natural skin is shining through.
Can I say something controversial?
Yes.
I think a lot of skincare content creators who use makeup, because they know the importance of having that really nice radiant glow to the skin, they also do it with their foundation, but they leave every inch of their foundation glowy and it looks oily. You know what I mean? Because foundation is a physical product with color, so it just looks like grease. There's one person in particular who their whole face always looks shiny, every inch is shiny. I'm like, your foundation looks greasy, your skin doesn't look greasy, your foundation looks greasy because you're obviously wearing foundation. And the greasier foundation becomes, it looks more like makeup. The glowier it becomes, it looks beautiful, but the greasier it becomes, it looks like foundation. So I think that's where you have to draw the line in between glass skin with skincare and how it looks as makeup as well. I always like to add the glow onto makeup rather than it's great to have it coming from within, but I think there's ways to add it and to mute it a little bit more, because if your every part of you is wet looking, your foundation looks greasy, then it's just greasy. You know what I mean?
I think it's overall as well just people getting ready to sit at home and sit in front of a camera. That's how it all is now.
And people don't, bear in mind the fact that when you go out into daylight, when you see an influencer wearing this foundation, they're under controlled lighting. Whereas if you go out in any other lighting, you're going to get different forms of lighting hitting your skin and your makeup in different ways. It's going to look a little bit different,
It's like when I use some products, I have to be like, I'm not this shiny, like it's my
right.
lights.
This doesn't look like this in real life.
This doesn't look like this. It's literally just like the light shining on.
I'm not that red is what I usually do.
But yeah, I can guarantee, take a picture of yourself when you're sweating, take a picture of yourself when you're oily, take a picture of yourself after a well-hydrated routine, you'll see the difference.
Oily is you can almost see like texture on the skin when you're oily a little bit more, whereas when you're glowy, it looks a bit smoother.
Because one comes from underneath, one comes from on top. So it's just like, there should be a difference, but the internet has made it more of a finish rather than a technique.
An instant, they put on a product and like instantly, oh, it's glass skin. It's like, no, you have product on your face.
For example, I have a glass skin toner here that's been in the background. Glass skin toner from Cell Fusion C. But the reason this is called a glass skin toner, whilst it's hydrating and dewy,
such a beautiful bottle.
It's so nice. It actually has everything in it that you need for long-term glass skin.
It's a long-term effect.
So it's going to gently exfoliate, it's going to brighten, help with tone and texture. So over time, the Cell Fusion C non-spun glass skin range is going to do what glass skin.
It's going to reach that thing to a permanent level, not just an instant. It's almost like they're treating skincare as makeup. It's going to give something that's going to give you an instant
makeupification
thing.
of skincare has been crazy.
Oh, honestly, it makes me want to gag and throw up in my own mouth.
All over the internet.
Please just leave each other alone is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
like,
leave
of course,
each other
it's
alone.
important to have some skincare aspects in makeup.
Yeah.
but like, can we just stop?
Yeah. Do you have another one?
I do, and it's actually it's aimed at you.
Oh.
This one says James Welch's controversy. No, I actually want to. Okay, this is about Riedel shots.
Oh God.
Riedel shot is not good for you. Where do the spicules go? Are they in skin forever?
Sorry, I'm just applying a lip balm before I.
Oh, should we talk about that? Is that one of your products?
Yeah.
Should we talk
do
about
this
it
real
quick before we
quick?
answer that? Stay tuned for the controversial answer to that question.
One thing we don't like, well, we kind of like and do like, depending on the brand, are lip oils.
I'm just over them as all. I respect them.
I don't know. I find
Actually,
them a
no,
little
I've
bit
lost
pointless.
respect for them.
I think I'd rather just use a lip balm.
Yeah.
This is a Thai brand called Mizumi, and it's the lip oil serum. So it's literally serum and oil. Love this
Excuse
product.
me, where did you get this product from?
Yes Style.
Oh, it's on Yes Style.
Yeah,
okay.
$7. So what?
They're
like
getting a lot of
£4?
Thai makeup, and I'm really happy about it because
So
it costs
apparently,
so much to get employed.
yeah, apparently Thai cosmetics are known for their really good lip products.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
which I had no idea about. But so this is like a little bit thicker than a lip balm. It's less oily than a lip oil.
It looks gel. I always say this. It looks gel-like.
It's a serum-y gel, like a little bit thicker than a serum, more like a sturdy gel.
Yeah.
And this gives you all the like moisturization, comfort of like a normal lip balm, but then you get the kind of like glossy, plumpy kind of look that lip oils give. And it does have some like good humectants in it, which is going to give you a lip plump without the menthol lip plumping
without the,
stingy
yeah.
sensation. And it's quite nice at like evening out like the lines.
Yeah. Is it tinted?
So it's a little bit tinted.
Did it come in different colors, or that was
No, this
okay.
only it comes in this. It's kind
It's
of
almost
sheer,
it's almost orangey peach, but
Yeah.
not like pure orange.
but it looks a little bit more rosy when it goes on the lips.
Right.
Yeah, just a little bit lighter.
Have you got it now?
Yeah.
So it's not pink at all. It's more orangey peach, but not intense.
But I just love it. The application tip looks like an iron. An iron.
A what?
An iron.
Oh, an iron.
Yeah, but like fluffy and small. It's that kind of shape. But I just
Yeah.
find it's really nice to apply.
How is it felt tip?
Yeah.
How do you find that?
Oh, not felt. It's kind of like fluffy.
That's felt.
It's like a
felt tip.
Oh, is it?
Not felt tip as in a pen, as in the
Oh.
the thing is
Made of
like
felt.
felty.
Yeah.
Do you find it drags on your lip at all? Or no.
No,
Okay.
do you know what I find? I feel like I know exactly where I've applied it.
Okay.
Because with a lot of like plastic ones, I'm like, oh, that's just literally sliding around because I can't feel the difference between the product moving and the application tip moving around. If that makes sense.
That's crazy talk, but I know what you're being about that.
So then with something with a little bit of texture, I feel like
crazy.
I'm actually moving it around and getting
Yeah.
a nice even spreading instead of product just sticking to the application tip.
I think
And
that's good for lip balms. If it had color, I would prefer plastic.
that makes sense. Yeah. But I love it. Two qualms. One.
What qualms?
One. Practicality wise, it's really annoying because I always put a
too
lip
good.
balm. It's practicality wise, it's amazing. I always use lip balms at the very last step of my skincare
Yeah,
routine.
yeah.
My hands are covered in serum, covered in moisturizer. I cannot
can't pull the
open
lid
this
off.
because there's no grip on it whatsoever. So a
yeah.
little rubbery tip would have been great. And also the name and product rubs off too
So you
easily.
don't know what you've got.
So yeah. But for £4, $7,
Bargain.
It was like
Yeah, you get a lot in
fair
there.
amount
You've
of
used almost
product.
half of that.
Yeah, and I've ordered like 5 more because
Oh,
I've been
have you?
using
maybe
it
I should
so
do
much.
that.
Yeah.
So there's a brand, I think they're on Yes I now, called Lip It, IT. Incredible Thai brand, and their lip products are beautiful. They
I
do
think they went to
balms
the
and
SPF lip balm.
yes,
Yeah, I was thinking about
tastes
that.
good too. It tastes like grape, like white
Yeah.
grape.
Okay, let's get back into that.
Let me
controversial
restate the
opinion.
question for you. Riedel shots is not good for you. Where do the spicules go? Are they in the skin forever?
Robert,
Yes.
thank you for this question.
Yeah.
Curtain. So there was.
Can I just say what I think happens? They dissolve.
no?
Well, they're in you forever. Goodbye,
You
everybody.
swallow them and they go straight to your baby.
Straight in your bloodstream.
Straight in your bloodstream, straight into the placenta. Okay, so this is what actually happens. Bearing in mind that they've been studied well, there is like the odd study that says other things. And a few dermatologists kind of like very hastily reacted to it.
Because it was kind of new. Well, not new, but kind of like maybe something that a lot of people hadn't seen
they've
before.
been in other things before.
Yeah.
But basically they...
New as in, I don't mean like this month. I mean like past, like,
Yeah.
what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, something like that. They penetrate the skin.
As in they go in?
Not that deep. not that deep at all, really. Just enough to get skincare to the surface level of your skin. They then either naturally fall out or they shed with the normal cycle of your skin. And it's not that they don't go deep enough to not shed
daily, right?
Yeah. So like over like a couple of days, like they just kind of shed kind of thing.
You're not going to wake up with loads of needles on your pillow.
No, it's not like that at all. No. So yeah, they're not lodged in there and like stuck in there forever.
And they're not made out of plastic. They're things like sea sponges, right?
Yeah. They explain this all very well on like the VT YouTube. I think Michelle from Lab Muffin Beauty Science has a great explanation about this, actually diving into the study, because a lot of dermatologists talked about and kind of got a few things wrong. What I will say is this is one of those products that I would 100% patch test. Because if you're allergic to something or have irritation to something that's penetrating the skin and then it's stuck in there for a few days before you can do anything about
That's gonna be rough.
It'll be horrific.
I mean, I used it last night. Like, it's not like you can feel it now on your skin. You know what I mean?
No,
like it's not like you're like. You know?
Yeah, I mean, some will go in, some won't. They'll stay there for a little bit, then pop out. I want people to bear in mind, despite what experts say, right? Bearing in mind, experts make these products. I'm not saying you shouldn't always be cautious of the products and question everything that we're using. Let's go from the big pharma point of view. You know, everything's big pharma, even if it's not pharma. Big skincare.
Yeah.
They want your money.
Yeah.
They want you to come back and use these products. They
Yes.
want these products to be good for you. They do not want lawsuits, and they do not want complaints of people having things lodged in their skin for the rest of their life, forming bumps under the skin and you having reactions to. So the best way to make money from people is to create things that they're going to repurchase over and over and over because it works for them. Not
They want
to,
that return custom.
Yeah, not to just shove something in a product that's going to harm you in any way.
Yeah.
So whilst, yes, question everything, look into what you're using, remember that the way they are taking advantage of you is by getting your money. And to get your money, they need you as a return customer.
Yes.
So they have the money to make good products.
Yeah.
So don't be too, don't be all
everything's
QAnon
a
about
scam.
this.
Yeah. Let's not be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting when there's a new technology or like a new way of doing something in skincare, and you're right to question whether this is just a gimmick or something.
Of
whatever.
course, yeah.
But yeah, listen to various experts, then look at what their expertise is and who are they to be talking about it.
Yeah.
And then get a merge of expertise.
Yes, exactly.
Real shot, very, very safe, very, very good.
Yeah.
This is one that I actually think is quite controversial, and I think there's
Not controversial.
There's two very different takes you can take.
Okay.
Reading ingredient list is dumb unless you're allergic. Now, I just want to take you through an evolution of skincare.
Oh God, we won't make this quick.
Bit of history, yeah, really, really quick. Now, this is just something that I've realized, right? During lockdown, everyone went crazy for skincare.
Ingredients,
especially with The Ordinary being like the main brand, right? Suddenly everyone's been introduced to all these different ingredients and their percentages.
The science of
skincare. And, instead of having an anti-aging serum, you had a collagen, retinol, something, whatever, whatever many buzz keyword ingredients, and then the percentages listed. So people suddenly knew what ingredients did what and what combinations would make for a great product.
Whereas a lot of, people's experience with skincare was the basic, simple Clearasil back in the day.
Yeah. That was a very different time where I think we should have been reading what was in our products, right? And then The Ordinary
couldn't read back then.
We were what?
12?
And then The Ordinary came along, did that, and then every other copycat brand.
Yes.
And then people wanted to know the standout ingredients. And, back in the past, it was always Nivea Q10 Plus. And no one really knew what the fuck that meant. What's that? Yogurt. Bifidus acularis. All bullshit things, right? Now I think we've gone... How to explain this? I miss the days where you just trusted the chemist to make a good serum that could do a combination of things. All these ingredients at percentages have made people want to play chemist and think they have to try different products for different things. And it's got so overly complicated, adding to the noise of the skincare space, adding to the idea that people think they need more and more and more, and they need a different thing for different skincare concerns. I miss the days when we could just go back to being like, this serum's a well-aging serum. This serum is going to even your skin tone. This serum is going to do this, right? It's kind of interesting to be like, well, that ingredient doesn't work for me. So maybe you're using the serum and it's not working for you. Why isn't it working for you? What ingredients are in it?
Yeah.
But I do think everybody thinks they know more. So people are reading ingredients.
Everyone's an expert now.
Everyone's an expert now.
Yeah.
But people do know more than they used to, right? But
They do, but like
everyone
not
is
to an extent
too
of somebody
much.
who has a degree or, you know, a doctorate.
So for example, people are like saying like, oh, this is how you read an ingredient list. And then if it's below this, then, you know, if
there's
it's,
no point.
it's below a 1% line, so there's no point. So then cosmetic chemists luckily came online. I was like, well, no, this ingredient is effective at below 1%, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I just think like there's a point we have to be like, you know what? These people know what they're doing. I just want a serum for a specific job rather than having to know the ins and outs.
Right, from a brand that is a well-known brand,
or
you know, like, it's not going to be some random, someone's going to come up to you in the street with a tub and be like, trust me.
Yeah, to me, it's a lot of, so there are brands like Bioma, for example, who put the percentage of every single ingredient. We don't need to know that. Yeah. No one needs to know that. Like, no one knows what that means. Yeah. And if you're a chemist, you can interpret that information. It might mean something to you. Like, why does 5% this work well with 0.2% this?
Yes, yeah.
An average consumer walking around Boots doesn't need to know
I
that.
don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
I just want it to work.
Again, question everything.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if they're being like, oh my God, the main star ingredient in this is collagen or retinol, for example, and it's at a ridiculously low percentage, then question that. But that comes from people wanting to know the percentage. So it's been like a vicious cycle of like, whilst it's interesting to know, we should have more knowledge, we've got almost too much to the point where we need to be re-educated
too much
in what
knowledge
that means.
without the education.
Without the education. So things get so confused.
Yeah.
People don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That misinformation spreads
But
again.
then also everyone trusts everyone online, no matter who they are.
Yeah. And it's just like, unless you have an allergy to something, we should all know what's in our skincare. But unless you are looking for a specific thing
that you know you're going to have a reaction
you'll have a reaction to or allergic to, or maybe something did work so well for you that you want that in your products, there's no other reason to be looking at an ingredient list.
Exactly.
I miss the days when you can just rely on a serum to do its job without questioning.
They told you what it did and you were like, okay, great.
Yeah. I think we need to pull that back.
Pull that back.
So that's it for me. There were so many other controversial opinions, so maybe we could do another episode more on the influencer side.
Yeah, because we did have a lot of distasteful comments.
A lot of you hate influencers.
And very particular ones as well.
Yeah, we're here for it, not gonna lie. But yeah, go follow us on all of our socials at the Double Cleanse Podcast on Instagram as well. We'd love to hear from you over there. Subscribe, follow, like, whatever platform you're on, please interact, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.